next one. Did everyone see the debut of Monet?
I saw her botch the move.
Ooh.
I don't know, man. It's just something.
I read actually that it wasn't her. Her opponent botched the move.
The opponent. She shouldn't have gone to her knees too early. Yeah. She went to her knees too early.
It was totally Carrie Sane, which I hate that. It's like, it's literally like she puts them on her back, like she's gonna do, I don't know, like a slide pin or something.
Yeah, like
and then she
backslide.
Turns them over into backslide, and then she turns them over into a DDT. I'm like, why make the DDT so complicated? The setup doesn't add anything to the impact of the move,
right?
Because when she does it, there's a video of her practicing it at a wrestling gym,
right?
And she does it, and the opponent is supposed to just land on their feet and then go into a DDT. It's like, why make
no one would do that
nowadays?
That's why Carrie went to her.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a lot of moves now. You know what I mean? It's like,
no, yeah.
There's 18 things you could do before Hurricane Rana, but that somehow that makes it better. Or the springboard cutters. I'm like,
why? I know. It's like why?
I don't know who a Canadian destroyer hurts. The guy giving it or the guy taking it? I truly don't know.
Yeah,
it's stupid.
Petey Williams hates that. But so she, and then even like, I mean, she got a pretty good react, but I don't know. Like the Japan crowd is always different, anyways.
Yeah, it's just going to be what she brings in on the box office is all going to be.
Which they said they said it was like one of the highest numbers as far as new viewers. So I mean that's good.
And two, dude, anytime you see Omega and Ricochet on the marquee, you do yourself a favor and make that an appointment.
Tune in.
Like, Osprey?
Sorry. It's a Ricochet. Huh?
It's a Ricochet.
I mean that's basically.
So I was thinking about Osprey and Ricochet's match. It's super polarizing. Actually, people hated or loved that match. There was no one between on the Ricochet and Osprey match. But when you see Omega and Osprey, it's like, you got to watch that. They never disappoint ever.
Meltzer gave it 6.5 stars, by the way.
God, who cares?
Shut up.
6.25.
Breaking his own shit now.
He gave 6.25. But see, what does that mean then? So when he starts going up to 10 stars, what does that mean of these matches?
Oh.
They're not that good, I guess.
Yeah, you're gonna go back. Yeah, right. Because if he's normally at 10 stars, you're gonna go back and be like, wow, Owen and Brett at SummerSlam only got 5 stars.
You're saying it's better than
Ramon and Michael's ladder match only got 5 stars out of 10. That sucks.
Yeah.
He can't.
No, I meant, but back then it was.
Kenny Osprey. I love his.
Yeah. So the real question I think that you're all asking, and I think the opinions will change, is can she go by the ways of like Jericho or Cody or people like that, and make her name bigger than the WWE machine could have made her? Is she that good? Is she capable of doing that? And I'll tell you right now, I don't think so. I know some people on this podcast do, but I don't think so.
In ring, she is. I think she's the best. I think it's better that she went to Japan than, like, I hate to say it, AEW's women division. She is way above any of them there. I don't.
That's true.
I think if she'd have went there, it would have kind of been lackluster, honestly. And I don't think it would have done her any good. But her
she just face Britt Baker every fucking week.
Yeah,
that's the only one that they trust.
Dr. Baker.
Yeah,
I think the only downside is New Japan doesn't have like a big, robust women's division or doesn't highlight it. That was the only
they just introduced
it
because wasn't there a separate women's promotion before, and then now
I think they work with Stardom
division now, right?
Yeah, they work with Stardom.
Yeah.
That was a crossover show with Stardom. So she's going to be working with both, it looks like. So
yeah,
I think she fits in more, and I think that's more of her skill level as far as wrestling goes. Because
I don't think
there's anywhere else she could have went.
This is normal to me. Like, I get all these headlines because everybody wants to read stuff and then they react to it. It could be anything. It could be she wore a different colored fucking jacket.
Yeah.
But like, this is what everybody used to do in the territories, and this is what everybody used to do when there was, AWA was dying and WCW was just sold and WWF was there.
You went overseas, man.
You just go over, and Cody just did what people normally do. Everyone acts like Cody, and I'm not saying Cody put in the hard work and he deserves all the praise, but he did just what his dad did. All he did was go, I got to go other places. I need other promoters to see me, other promoters to push me, give me critique. Give me this, give me that, work with other people. He, helped start AEW. He went to Ring of Honor. He went to New Japan. He went Mexico, everywhere. And I hope that Sasha does the same thing. I hope
there's a big difference.
She's only going to be great. And then in 3 years, if she decides to go back, she's going to be a million times better. And she's good now. She's really good now.
She's really good.
But
there's a big difference though. I mean, nowadays it's more of a big deal that they come from WWE when they go to these.
I just wonder if you're going to see Becky Stardom come out of it. Can she have reactions of like Flair on a regular basis? I'm sorry, Charlotte or Becky. She's good, but she's never obtained the fanfare that Becky did. I mean, not many have, right? And
and she also was a victim of.
She always got really.
She was a different character. Like she was a little bit more mean and aggressive in NXT, which I loved. And then when she got to WWE, the main stage, you know, is under the Vince regime. And I'm not trying to shit on him. It's just he's softer, you know, and he doesn't, you know, he makes gimmicks like really simple for simpletons to understand. And he didn't want to complicate her. So, but she still was popular on the main stage.
She's a victim on the main roster. She was a victim of going back and forth between heel and face. That was what I think fucked it up, because when they kept her as heel, the best. She was the best. She was the best heel.
Yeah.
Other than Charlotte, honestly, on the women's roster. So, anyways, Vince McMahon, huh?
Yeah. Elephant in the room. We're recording this on the day that he is back and installed as chairman of the board, and the press release only came out yesterday.
I'm sorry, Craig. What did you say, bud?
We are recording this on the day he was reinstalled as chairman. Only one day after the press release where he warned that he said he was doing it, and that is all anyone is talking about all over the place on every single podcast, website, social media.
It a little bit.
It's incredible. It's a huge story.
Fucking Vince, the two biggest stories of the last 2 years now is Vince McMahon, of course.
Grand closing, grand opening.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep. I think everyone's sensationalizing a little bit too much. There's even some wrestling sites where it literally just says, like, the headline is just Vince returns to sell WWE. It's like, dude, that's not, like, he's coming back. I mean, from what I've gathered, from what I read on the actual presser, is it just sounds like he's there to fucking make the deals. So he's just saying, like, oh, I think it would be in their best interest if I was the one handling the deals. I'm sure Vince, like, even though he went away, it's his baby. It's been his baby since the 80s. Like, you think he's just, even if he's not going to have like a hand in creative or anything like that, you think he just wants to like let it go altogether?
He wants all of it, man. He wants all of it.
Well, he wants to own it. He wants to still own it.
No. He wants everything.
I'm sure he wants.
Even if he sells it, he wants control. He wants the whole nine. So if you're just thinking he's there for a sale, I call bullshit.
I don't think he's there for a sale. I think he's just there to renegotiate all the deals.
No, we can structure this. We can structure this discussion however, like, we can talk about all the different elements of it. And because if you started with, like the press release and stuff, my focus is not on him doing creative or not on him kind of, I guess, even being back. Mine is just like the Game of Thrones kind of play that he did to do it. It truly is not just hey, I just want to be a part of it and help out. It is, he has every right to do what he did, and he has all the power and holding the cards as major shareholder, but he did like the ultimate thing that he probably shouldn't have done in those two things, but no one can stop him to do it. So I am fascinated with.
He brought on two new board members, or three including himself. Is that right, Craig?
Yeah, they booted two.
Yeah, booted two, added three, gains all power, and now those people are basically his underlings because he brought them in. Right? They're going to do his bidding, and he's got the family to do what he wants to do as well to gain any majority. I think. But what do you? I mean, that's what I don't know. I haven't heard anything about what the thoughts of Stephanie and Con are in those situations. I don't know.
Everyone's making everyone's.
Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Everyone says, "Oh," and now the story's.
I'm sorry, is his wife still on the board, or has she been removed from the board for some time ago?
I don't even know. Honestly.
I don't
know. I think she's been on a long time.
We looked it up. We looked it up that she was still like some type of, she's still involved in it somehow. I remember when Vince left, and we were talking about this on an episode. I think we looked it up, and we looked at who owned how many stakes and who was on the board, and I think we saw.
I think she probably just owns enough to still make money from it, but she's probably so far removed. She's more political. Sure she's more political now, and they did an interview when he first had to step down last year, and she was like, really, you could tell she didn't give a shit. She was just like, for him, I hope he enjoys his retirement. Like she was talking about him like he was a neighbor. Like I was like, that's your. Damn.
They don't even live in the same house anymore.
Good for him. I hope Vince was his name. I hope everything works out. I don't care. I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
I mean, would you wouldn't you do the same? Like if that was your baby, that company, you wouldn't want to just like let it go.
That was my whole thing. Was like he's not coming back.
Could you just see Linda though in an interview going like, "What do you think about Vince's situation?" And she'd be like, "Who?"
Like, who? Oh, Vinny.
Sounds like a nice fellow.
I hope my husband.
Vinny Mac. So Vinny Mac. Oh yeah.
I don't know why.
Retirement.
But everyone, the big deal that everyone's making is he's coming back to take over. Oh, I bet all the people that got rehired are shaking or regretting coming back. Like it's like shut up. Everyone's making it up, and then
he is there to take over. He's not. I'm not thinking creative or any of that stuff.
No.
Like literally to take power and to be the top and chairman again. That's exactly what he did, and that's what he's there for.
I think it's over for the
but there's a discrepancy between taking over and then I'm going to be in the granular. I mean, it's a $6 billion company. It's bigger than just firing Regal again.
Everyone's acting like as if it's a fact that these people are like, oh, Netflix could be the one that's going to buy them. Oh, this group has come pushed to the front as front runners to buy WWE. It's like no one's. You guys are just speculating because these companies are buying this company and that.
You just made me really happy when you said that. Can you imagine like how navigatable the WWE library would be if fucking Netflix bought it? Oh,
if Netflix owned it.
It'd be so fucking easy to surf into this Peacock trash that we have going on right now. Like where you can't search shit. Like, what the fuck is season 1 episode
Volume 1?
Like,
I'm like, what do you mean Volume 1, Season 1? What are you talking about?
What the fuck is happening?
Yeah. They should put on Xbox Game Pass. That's the best streaming service.
But again, I don't know if
or YouTube.
Like the people don't care about the deal. I think people care about what happens to the creative and everything else, because if
YouTube bought it,
that's literally what a lot of people are crying about.
As Craig's, what's that, Jess? Sorry.
I said, like Cuz said, if YouTube bought it and put it under a paywall, oh my god! I don't know why I'm venturing. Now I'm fantasizing about other people besides Peacock.
But YouTube bought NFL,
so, no, but again, I don't think nobody's concerned about who's going to buy them. Everyone's concerned about what happens with what we all feel is a better product since he left. And if he comes back and he is,
I don't think you should sell the WWE, right? Why would they do that?
I don't think he's going to.
They just get people to keep nibbling off the teat.
No, I think they will. I think the industry right now, everything's media stocks are dying, and WWE is at an all-time high, and they'd be dumb not to sell now. Like they're not going to get a better deal than they are now, and all these streaming services want to own all their content. So it's Comcast versus Disney basically. It'd be one of those two, or Paramount, or someone with a big old streaming service that would pick them up. But that's why they were going to like. They're either going to.
Do we honestly care about that, or do we care more about what happens to creative if he decides to come back and says, "Now I am in charge"?
I'm not worried
because
about
he could,
because he's not going to.
You don't
he could. I don't think he's going to. No, I think it's
maybe now that he's stepped back, I wonder if he doesn't want to anymore. I wonder if
I don't think he wants to.
Because we talked about it on the Legacy to Vince that we did, and actually Dave and I were just like, he was out of touch and this and that. And then Craig was like, I don't. He was. Craig said a good point. He's like, he's out of touch creatively, but he's like, he's a genius still when it comes to business tactics.
No doubt.
He's the guy. So if he comes back and does that, I have no problem with that.
I think that's what he wants.
Creative is trash.
I think he gets a rush.
However. What a lot of people never talk about is from like the Royal Rumble on before he left. So between Royal Rumble and SummerSlam last year, it was actually a pretty fucking good year. Raw still was trash, and SmackDown was meh. But the Royal Rumble was good. WrestleMania was like 2 of the best nights I've ever been a part of as a fan. They had a lot of good the pay-per-views that were headlined by Cody and Seth were doing really well, and especially with those two doing the main event. And then you got that gift from. So I felt like the product was feeling different after WrestleMania for some reason, and then of course everything happened, and then starting at SummerSlam, Triple H took over, and it's been even better. So I thought it was on like an uphill kind of climb-ish before, but
1,000%.
I don't know if it would have gotten it's more watchable now. It feels more modern to me. I would not want Vince to come back. I really wouldn't in that capacity. I hope not.
I think there is no way that it's unavoidable that he will stick his nose in because he's Vince McMahon, and I'll spend.
If he's going to be around now, like bigwigging it, he's going to be like all, Sasha, go over. What'd you say?
I'm
in the back. I'm sneezing.
Yeah,
you don't sneeze. I don't.
Because now what was interesting to me is so if you read the letter that he sent to the board on December 20th or whatever, he's like, I want to come back, and then the board replied to it, but the board in which Triple H and Stephanie sit on said. The board unanimously doesn't want you to come back because you are too much of a risk because the SEC and government investigations aren't done, and all the knowledge that that is not known publicly from the investigation. So there's probably still a lot of bodies buried, and it was all to make him go away. So and he doesn't give a shit, and he's doing this play.
But now though, unless you say, but if there are more bodies buried and anything else breaks, he's gone again. Either it's going to become hostile at a point where.
Yeah, I don't think he will. I think he's in it for the long haul now, and this is the risk that he's taking.
Is there any situation where they can make him sell or no?
Everyone else with a share can sue them from malfeasance.
Yeah,
Because people that have the regular, if I buy on New York Stock Exchange WWE stock, I don't get a vote. The only people that get to vote are people with the B stock, and the only people that can own B stock and the McMahon family. So McMahon set this up to where there's nothing
if
anyone
this ever
can
happened,
do.
He's like, you can't do anything.
So I can make you a millionaire, but you're not gonna have any say
how,
what
how to touch
Yes.
a eye,
He has to be
motherfuckers.
he has to be have the say to sell. But I think he wants to come back because he's, you know, the rush of the deal type thing. I think he just wants to go in there and negotiate deals, be like, look at the deals I got for us, blah blah.
But not even that, his dollar's
someone.
tied to it. So I think that maybe that's why he wants to come back. His dollar's tied to it still. So he wants the best deals. He wants to, you know.
But that's what I'm saying.
Peacock's not gonna, you know, we'll sell our streaming to other people, or maybe it's not just Peacock anymore. It's someone else and Peacock.
Everyone's just making up their stories, the sensational stories, because it's for clicks and headlines.
But I think that they're gonna. I think that the storyline will be Roman starts his own streaming service and calls it the Bloodline streaming service. That's why.
This all could blow up in his face, though. Like if people, if the board or whatever, or the shareholders do decide to sue him because he threatened to. That's basically how he held them over leverage. He literally said, "I'm not going to approve or do anything unless I'm chairman." So, and because that's in the best interest of the shareholders, so it's his press release is saying one thing and then it's completely another thing. So it's extortion in a way.
His press release just says he feels like they would benefit from his as head. Everyone else is making up. Oh, he's saying that he's not going to approve it. We don't know that. We didn't see anything.
Well, sure.
That's what he said. No, that's literally what.
There's going to be dipshits out there that literally. It's the same people that like.
So it's the not Meltzer.
I believe that if you have a good wrestling product and you could get eyes on your product, I think there's a lot of value in that. But it's the same people that say like the only reason why WCW went out of business is because they just started tanking storylines. And I was like, it's part of it. I mean, it wasn't pretty.
There was so much more behind
the ratings dropping was not good, but they were still, it was like still getting a 2.8. What does Raw get now? 1.8? It was getting a 2.8.
Any respectable cable company
back then. And Bischoff said it was all internal. It was business decisions. AOL merged with Time Warner, and that just fucked everything up. Ted Turner got stripped of his power. And it all went downhill after that.
And the new owners hated wrestling.
There's a lot of wrestling fans that just think everything begins and ends. Like what we see on the screen is literally 10% of the whole machine. The rest of the 90 is behind the curtain, and it's all production. It's now with WWE. It's the stock market. It's they're maneuvering with that. It's all the deals they get. So people that say that to Cuz's point. It's just the dumb shits, man. They just want it. I just want wrestling the way I want it.
They just want the story.
It's not,
they just want the
they just think that if you make the storylines good, everything's good. It's like that's not. You can have a story. I mean, look at ECW. Had some of the coolest shit you saw back in the day, but financially he just could not hold it together. People weren't getting paid. He couldn't get sponsored.
Vince knows just him coming back, even if he's just like, I'm just coming back just to come back. I'm not really going to do anything. He knows it gets the attention, and
I just think it'd be really fucking hilarious
again
if he comes back to every show and he literally never says anything. He's just always standing in the corner, like in Gorilla, just staring. And they're like, "What do you have to say, Vince?"
Like he's just in the background when someone's cutting a promo. You just see him standing in the background.
Like he's on camera. He's in the front row,
like the regular
he's
staff
sitting
does.
in the front row. He's sitting in the front row, just no one says anything. Every time they cut to the announcer's booth, he's right behind him.
So let's give predictions then. So what is the next? So let's go to what happens in the next 6 months. And think of it as in like things will get better, worse, get more chaotic. He will have his hand in creative, or he will stay in the background and just do the deals and do what he says he's going to do. What do you guys think is actually going to happen?
That's what I think is exactly going to happen. He's just going to be there for the deals. He knows his name carry, regardless of all the the stuff that happened to get him to retire. I think he knows that his name's like all the people he's dealt with to make all these deals before he left. Like he probably knows like I have to be the one to talk to them. So I need to come back and deal with this. We got to renegotiate. Like I said, NBC, I'm pretty sure this is the year they're supposed to renegotiate with NBC or that the deal is up. So I'm sure, and then hearing that NBC is losing money supposedly with the WWE deal, he probably like, oh, we got to go fix that. He probably wants to make sure all the deals are nice and tidy. He probably wants to get more markets, which that's always been their goal, is to expand in other markets. So I think that's what it is. I don't think he's going to do anything with creative at all. I think.
And what else is left besides international? You're saying he wants to expand international with these streaming sites? Is that? I mean, I don't know what else you could do.
Oh yeah, I mean, you hear about like what was like India or somewhere like these weird like there's random like streaming services that we never heard. Like this country's gonna now start airing WWE programming in this country. So I think he wants to come in and probably add on to that. But and his NBC deals, all the deals that he has in place that are going to be coming up. And other, I think services.
I think it'll be either or. He's either going to do a bunch of deals on the streaming side, or he'll sell outright to someone. It'll be one of the two. and they'll gauge what they can make more money with.
But no matter what happens with that, Craig, he still wants to remain in control, right? That's the deal that we hear is made, no matter what he sells or how he does the deal.
Because the board asked him to be a part of negotiations anyway, and he goes, no, unless I'm back in charge of the whole thing.
I'm fully in charge, and I still control the company after it's done. So that's what I think personally. He can't help himself, man. He just can't.
You're not going to let someone negotiate your company deal,
Vince,
right? Like if you own the company.
Not if he's already gotten in trouble and admitted and left and said he'd leave.
He doesn't care.
Billionaires are going to billionaire.
Anymore.
He's just
he's
doing it because he needs to fight.
The owner of the Redskins did
that's true.
horrible things, and he remained owner for
that's how he lives, man.
For years. The owner of the Redskins is like, well, it's not Redskins, sorry, it's the Commanders now in the NFL, is one of the worst people in the world. He's a horrible, horrible person. There's so much, and it took forever to get him removed. It took decades, and he had to do stuff that was far worse than what Vince ever did. So, if he comes back, Vince cannot control himself, and he will get back into creative, whether y'all like it or not. And I won't like it, but he will. He will. He can't help himself, man. He's going to think, well, I could do that better because I'm Vince McMahon and I get away with everything. And he's going to do that. And like you said, billionaires are going to billionaire. And they really believe that if I touch this, it will turn to gold no matter what it is. I can make it better because I am Vince and that's it. And he will. He just will. Like, God, I think
it's more of like, well, if I can't do this, I'm at least going to do this at the very least. It's my company. I don't think
it's my company, so I'm gonna get back in creative. Watch,
I think he just wants to, like
6
Craig
months?
said, he lives to fight. But it's also his company. You're not going to just let that go after owning it for so long. You're not going to let someone else handle the dealing.
I get that. I get all of that, and it would be great. It would be great if he stayed within that one sector of it, but he's not going to. He's not going to, man.
Well, we'll see. All right, this time in 6 months, me and Dave.
What do you think,
Jess? What do you think?
You agree with Cuz? Yeah.
Do actually. Weird, it's cold in here, and I do. I think that I don't think he's going to try to mess around on creative. I don't. I think that he'll have. I think he would have just as much. Like now, he could still pick up the phone. You don't think fucking Stephanie and Triple H? They probably have burner phones, like and shit like that. Like, all kinds of shit. Like I hope that
they get a new Boost Mobile every week for free.
Let me rephrase that. Yeah, like let me rephrase that. They buy out of Better Call Saul's back of his trunk. Like in that scene in Better Call Saul when he sells the burner phones out of the back of his trunk.
Yeah.
That's my liking would be more to what Cuz says because I would just like for him because I don't think he's done.
I would like that too.
Being smart.
I would like
maneuvering the company and all that stuff. I would love for it. I think that's what will happen. I think he'll leave Triple H alone, or as much as alone as we think he is, which you never know. It could be fucking blowing. He could be talking to him every day. We have no idea. And then Triple H just says, "Yeah, fine, whatever. I'll do whatever."
I'm sure they're talking every day.
You know, but yeah, I think
Triple
that
H should say, "Oh, that's a good point," and not do anything. Just not do it.
Right, exactly.
And I'll think about it.
Point. Steph, let's get out of here.
It's a good point.
And honestly, on top of that, like, I was thinking a little bit on the bigger picture. When he knew before the rest of us knew that this was going to break. Vince was the first one to know. This could all be by design. I'm going to go away for a while. I'm going to get all my ducks in a row. You guys are going to run creative or whatever, and then if it works and the numbers don't drop under you, there you go. You stay right there. But I'm coming back.
I had a bit of a theory on that too, Jess. Thanks for bringing that up because do you remember how many cuts of personnel that Tony Khan made during the whole pandemic? Right, they cut so many people. You're like, oh my god, so many contracts are getting cut. What are they doing? And to that point, that was only a few years ago. What if him and Khan were kind of in on it the whole time going, I'm going to go away. This stuff is going to come out. We need to trim as much fat as possible, make us as profitable as possible. So when I leave, it's going to look worse than when I was here. That I was kind of thinking about that this week.
I don't know about that. I think with the Tony Khan thing, right? it was the Brett in WCW. Bruce has said there's been Vince basically negotiated the deal for Gene Okerlund and Bobby Heenan to leave. He didn't purposely do it. He let their agents do it and or them, but he told them that. He told Gene Okerlund, like, I'm not going to re-sign you. I can't, and I want to go younger. So I want you to tell WCW that they need to pitch you an offer because you're re-signing with me. And so Vince faded like he was interested. He's been doing it forever. He did it for Hulk.
Sure.
Like him and Hogan had a famous in-person in 1998 when Hogan, there's no way he wasn't going to re-sign. It was the end of 97 or beginning of 98. Him and Vince purposely had lunch in public so people would see that Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan were having lunch. And Vince did it for him.
Yeah.
Because Vince fucking knows the game. So I don't think he worked with Khan in any way. I think they told Big Show and all of them, go get the money. I'll do whatever you want. Go get the fucking. He didn't need them anyway. Like they're old anyway. Like goodbye, Mark Henry. Goodbye, Big Show.
I'm not talking about necessarily show and stuff, but there was.
So I think that was all. I think Vince was just manipulating. That's why Vince is still sharp in his brain with that. To Craig's point back in our Legacy of Vince episode, like he's still sharp. Like he still knows like how to play that kind of chess. But making 12-year-old kids like a product. I don't think Vince knows how to make 12-year-old kids. This sounds weird me saying this.
Yeah, what are you doing? Just stop right
now. I need to stop right now. But he doesn't know how to appeal to that age demographic.
Just stop talking.
So
I love that movie.
I think the question will be, I think it'll be a success with him at the helm if people can forget like what he did, and I think he will be fairly quiet. I think Vince is going to Vince. I think he'll eventually. My prediction for the next 6 months is more stuff will come out. The internet will be the internet, and you'll hear like the talent's unhappy and he's meddling backstage, and and then the stories will come out, and then it's like all these other women, and then he never paid down the $60 million, and you'll hear all the board. So if he can weather all of that, and they can manage like whether it's true or not, it's worse than he's there or it's better than he's there, or the next 6 months of just controversy of him simply being back, I think he'll be fine. If the stuff is even like worse and his hubris is going to get him because he's like, I'm invincible and this could burn it down completely, and he burns himself down, like I think that could go too. So I think he could go both ways. Go right back to where it was before the pandemic or before the charges where we kind of forget about it, or he burns the whole thing down because he can't get out of his own way.
Part of that's already happening, Craig. There's already stories. Talent is unhappy that Vince is back. Which no one knows. Everyone just, once again, making up shit.
Right. Yeah, I would call bullshit on that too, because it literally just happened. How do we know? Like,
no one knows. Everyone just likes, all these sites like to pretend they know, or they just do it just because it gets traffic.
But we all heard stories that talent's super happy under Triple H, and we believed it. So why wouldn't we?
I mean, well, you could see it on TV that people were
you know what my wife said to me.
the proof was actually right there.
My wife made a good point this week about VK coming back and how so many people were unhappy under his regime because he just was such a ball buster. And she said, how hard would it be to make that just an awesome place to want to come to work? Everybody already wants to be a wrestler. Everybody already wants to do this. How hard could it be? And I said, well, there are some egos involved. And she's like, yeah, I get that. But you could, if you know what you're doing as the leader, that would be such an easy place to make a great place to work. And I'm like,
well, and Triple H and them have always been like praised with that. Like the NXT environment was always really positive. And now that Regal's back, by the way, he started earlier in this week or last week. He's back in NXT. So Regal is going to start. Yeah. And he was one of the ones that kind of started the best era of NXT, Regal. Even though even before Regal, it was still awesome. But like, Regal had like the best regime of that whole time period of NXT. It was pretty incredible with him.
Well, Regal was there when it was just, he was commentating when the guys like Cesaro and Cassius Ohno and Sami Zayn and all of them were going through there. And he was feuding with like Ambrose and Cesaro and Cassius Ohno and all those guys.
He would have
matches with those guys.
He had such good matches with them too. Like Regal's matches were great.
Go back and watch all that. This is our review of NXT. No, I'm just kidding.
So
long story short,
Legacy of NXT.
Vince is back, so he can do the whole you have a milkshake and I have a milkshake. I have a straw.
I trick you.
My straw goes across the room. That's all he's coming back for, just for the.
What are you gonna say, Craig? Sorry,
Jess said something earlier, which is very true and apt. Because I was just gonna ask: is the mystique blown that like without Vince it can't run? The machine can't run because Vince was always the final say. And in the last 6 months, it's been like everything's been good. So does that mean he can't? Or to Jess's point, is he still kind of running things from Connecticut in his home on burner phones?
I just feel with as smart as he is,
Jesse.
With as smart as he is, and him knowing before all of us, whether anybody wants to admit it or not, that this was happening. Vince knew probably more than a couple months before that shit's gonna hit the fan. Sure. He had plenty of time talking to Triple H 70. I believe that Vince is like, I will make a play eventually. I don't know when, but I'm gonna make a play to come back. I'm the dominant shareholder. I'm coming back. And so this could have been the whole play out like from the beginning. And only because he had to, because he realized all this stuff was going to break. He realized that the scandals were going to come out, that he got kind of busted misappropriating funds. Okay, I'll pay the fines. I'll get the slap. I'm not going to jail. I don't have any criminal charges against me. They can audit me all they want to. I know they're not going to find anything because either A, I didn't do anything wrong, or B, I covered my tracks. And so he knew that. And so he was just like, you guys come back. Because Stephanie and Triple H were gone, basically. Like, and then Triple H, remember, he came back after his heart issue at WrestleMania. And Triple H was just kind of there. And, you know, he was just hanging around NXT going, hello, everybody, like not really doing anything. And then this broke before the summer. And then we're like,
but then Stephanie left a little bit before that too, saying she was going to spend more time with the family. Like,
I feel that they all knew something was going to happen. It was a plan. Vince is like, just when the hammer drops and I have to go, I'm going to go. I'm going to put the bat symbol up. You guys come in, you do your shit. Like, you know, do whatever you want to do. I'm still going to talk to you.
If anything, it could have been delayed a bit because Triple H got sick too. So it might have, maybe they were supposed to.
Good point.
Before that, even.
But he never had to leave. That was on his own. What he says is he took, according to the Wall Street Journal, he believes that he took bad advice and should have never left. So I don't think it was a play for him because like he would have said, "I'm stepping away." He literally said, "It's time to retire." And that time's now. So I think he like went, "Oh shit," and he left, and now he's had regrets, and he's like, I got to get back. This is bullshit. It's going to be fine. I'm going to be fine.
He's got to be driving himself nuts over it.
Yes,
you know?
he's got to die in this. He's got to die in his office.
But he can also Ross so watchable now. Like, God damn it! I got to get back in there.
They added him back to the roster page.
That's really awesome.
Did they really?
That's awesome.
Shut up.
Oh, it's gonna be all just a storyline. It's gonna be fucking great.
That'd be funny too. I don't want to see him on TV anymore because he can't talk anymore. Like he looks like a Muppet. Like he looks like an old Muppet. Like even watching him in there with Stone Cold, like a Mania, I'm like, you look awful. And even when he talks, like all the work he's had done.
He looked bad on McAfee, and then he looked even worse when he wrestled.
And he just mumbles when he talks. He's like, like you know, like God damn it.
Because didn't Theory's music scare him?
Oh shit.
Like, was it Austin's music? Someone's music like scared the shit out of him in the middle of the ring. Yeah.
Who's behind me? Oh,
yeah, A-Town down. Yeah, A-Town down.
We'll see what happens. It is going to be crazy, or it could be completely nothing.
And what a perfect time in the start of the year, like literally the beginning of the month. We got a whole 12 months ahead of us. Of this.
He just rewrites everything, and Mania's like,
oh god, I would actually
Theory and Roman.
I would put out an
Don't say that. We already got tickets. Don't say that. Oh man. So
I'll put out an accusation against him just to take him down.
He touched me here.
He touched me.
God,
get him out of here.
We'll be talking about this every single week. It's going to be so bad. It's going to be awful, but it's going to be fun. At least people are going to be talking.
Yeah. That's enough. That's unscripted. Yeah. See you guys later. And stop.